Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Buddies on Buddies, a show about two real life buddies talking about real life buddy action comedy movies. I'm Kenny Lane,
I'm Lucas Hill.
and we're Buddies on
Buddies on
Buddies.
Buddies.
This is the show. All right, great. How's it going, Lucas?
Good. How are you? Kenny, why don't we give them a brief
Super.
history of why we're talking about
Who we
movies?
are, what we're doing, what's going on, all that good stuff. Well, I met Lucas. There was a convention for bodybuilders, and also Magic the Gathering was next door. So I was in the bodybuilding, competition, and I walk over, and I see this fucking dork with his ass crack hanging out, and I'm like, God, this guy's pathetic. And basically, I took him under my wing, and taught him about the birds and the bees, and how to talk to women, and how to be tough, and that's where we met.
Yeah. And ever since then, I've had a stellar life. And I've exceeded
his
all
life just tanked after
expectations.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how have you been? That's the question.
I've been fine. Yeah. I live on this the Long Beach Peninsula in Washington. If anyone knows where that is, it's like a small area, but like tourist spring break, it's been happening. The golf course has been busy. It's been popping, and the bar has been been slinging a lot of drinks, swinging a lot of clubs. Yeah, it's my life, I guess.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I've been well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, how are you doing?
I
always
don't
forget to
worry
ask
about it.
because I don't.
I can ask myself. Yeah, I can ask myself. It's fine. I like talking about myself, so it's pretty easy for me. I've had a great week. Just a lot of work. Okay, fair enough.
God.
Let's move on to that. Before we get into the movie we're going to do this week, what have you seen this week outside of the movie we watched this week?
Go time. Well, I thought about today. I watched the first day of the Masters. I think Matsuyama is in the lead with Cameron Smith right behind him. Tiger's doing okay for his first time back. He's in the top 10. And I watched the Brewers lose to Cubs today on opening day. But as far as movies go, I didn't really watch any movie, but I did have the new Matrix movie on in the background when I was doing other shit. It's kind of unfair for me to judge a movie I didn't really sit down and watch.
Have we talked about the Matrix movie? Have we talked about it?
You saw it. I hadn't seen it back when it came on HBO back in December or something. So what do you think?
Oh, I fucking hated it. I thought it was hot garbage. Without any spoilers, that movie's hot garbage. And I'm shocked that the reviews weren't this is the worst, one of the things I've seen in a long time.
Like a
mildly
61% on Metacritic.
Yeah. So I thought it would be, and I love the original Matrix, not so much the sequels. And as I told you, no spoilers here, but this is more of a sequel to the last two Matrix movies, more than it's a sequel to the actual Matrix. Yeah. And then it's all callbacks and nostalgia. I hated the fucking movie so bad I can't even begin to describe.
Yeah, a lot of that shit, we were talking about the Scream 5 movie last week, that seems to be consider the original movie this cultural touchstone, which Scream and The Matrix were pretty big movies at the time and stuff, but they treat it like it was the biggest cultural event of the last 50 years, and they have all these scenes that mirror the original movies. It's just this is all for fan service and nostalgia. They forgot to make a movie.
Scream did the same problem as the Matrix movies, where they take too much into account the sequels. Yeah, I don't think, at least from my perspective, I don't give a shit about them. I like the original movies. Yeah, make a movie that's a direct sequel or whatever. But you know what? Whatever. I'm all fine for it. It gives me something to watch. Keep making remakes. Keep making nostalgia-based shit. I'll be there for it. I don't need Christopher Nolan's Ghostbusters. But now that I say that, that would be...
Those Ghostbusters. No, I'm kind of over this whole shit of I kind of just went and saw the Batman, because anytime there's one movie theater here on the peninsula, it's a great movie theater, but it plays two movies, new release, but it's usually a Disney movie and the latest it's Lost City and something else this week. So anytime I have half an interest to see something at the theater, I'll go see it, because I know the owner and stuff, and just to support the movie theater. But I'm so tired of all these movies are pure nostalgia, fan service for older movies. The last Ghostbusters movie I thought was garbage, and I wasn't that crazy about Spider-Man 9, and there's just there's all movies about other movies.
You're getting old, Kenny. You're getting old.
I guess so. Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Hollywood's always done this from the beginning. People just weren't around back then, you know.
No, remakes have been a part of Hollywood for a while, but this requel shit is like, or whatever they call it, this is kind of new.
Well, it needs to happen because they need to make money. And it's going to be around. I love the alternate universe thing, like a lot.
Yeah,
like, let's have some fun. Who cares? They're realizing audiences aren't as stupid as they thought they were. No one's going to get there's two Batmans. Yeah, they do. They're not stupid. No. They watch YouTube videos for hours on this shit.
They keep making money because guys like you say, I don't care, whatever, I'll see it if it's a piece of shit or not. If it's a new Matrix, a new Scream.
Kenny, do you know why they're going to make money? It's guys like you who go, I hate this shit. I've seen every last one of them. Yep, every single last one of them. I hate it.
Yeah,
I'll be there. Yeah. I'll be there for the new Ghostbusters. I hate it though. Well, I hate this. I hate this. I don't really, lights up. Yeah.
Well, at least I'm lying. I'll see this shit too. I'll see Ghostbusters 7. Eventually, though, I won't. So, you better knock it off because in 10 years, I might not see the 25th Batman movie. So.
You'll be there.
I'll be there. You know me. I can't quit you, Hollywood.
All right. What movie did we watch this week?
We watched the 2002 Warner Brothers release Showtime, directed by Tom Day and starring Robert De Niro and Eddie Murphy. Do you want to give a little bit of the plot summary?
Yes. A grizzled detective is forced to team up with a showboating street cop in order to make a reality show. Is that okay?
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. No. So what did you kind of overall think of? Both of us had never seen this movie, correct?
Correct. I thought I had, but I think I just remember the trailers because I remembered none of the shit that happened in the actual movie. So I could have just forgotten it all.
Yeah.
What did I think of Showtime? I did not like it.
Thumbs down for the Lukester.
I have some caveats, but I'll get into those later. But yeah, it was not an enjoyable experience. Some of these movies are like so bad they're good. So bad that I get it. This one's just so bad. And the talents involved with Robert De Niro and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Completely wasted. I can't think of one bit that worked. Everything was forced. Nothing felt natural. And it was coming from the guy who did Shanghai Noon, which I was always a huge fan of that movie. Yeah.
Pretty solid movie. We might cover it later on Buddies on Buddies. Yeah.
I wish we had watched that instead. I don't know if it's as good. I used to love it because I was a huge Jackie Chan fan. I loved Owen Wilson when I was much younger.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Well, he also did. Well, yeah, but he also did Failure to Launch. So I mean, it's kind of a rocky, filmography from this guy. But I think this movie, like a lot of critics pointed out, I'm guessing it started off as like a satire of buddy cop TV shows, movies, that kind of thing. Like the whole opening scene, which feels really tacked on, Robert De Niro, talking to a class, you think of cops, and he turns around, it's all kids. But anyway, saying and listen up, this is not like a TV show or a movie. I don't cut the blue wire to, defuse the bomb. And, so get that out of your head, and so it's like, oh, is this going to be a satire? But this movie doesn't have a goddamn satirical bone in its body.
And I was kind of excited by that opening speech because I thought they were just gonna do something grounded and real, and then they get caught up in like a movie thing.
Yeah, right. I think some commentary on reality shows and
here's the problem: they could have done. This is what this movie's missing from. Quit saying all they had to do was have them at the twist at the end being that it was all orchestrated by the reality show.
I would think that would have been too late. The movie's already gone totally mainstream, totally just that it's to have a twist at the end that would just piss audiences off even more. I think
Yeah, you're probably right. It's what I would want to see. This is real work, real cop work. This is how boring it is. That's how they open the movie. Next scene, we see Robert De Niro. He's in a high tension cop movie situation. What was the point of that scene? Was he just lying to the kids?
That scene I think is actually I don't know for sure, but I think it was tacked on because I think the initial opening scene was Eddie Murphy, another psych out thing where he's in the audition, even though it's a fully dressed set with costume actors and all this other shit. Where I don't know if auditions happen that way on a fully dressed set and all this shit.
Well, they do
like Batman or something.
Yeah, exactly. They don't do it for some guy. They're like, go back to acting school afterwards. That's
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
that was it. But anyway, so I think Robert De Niro's character, you're not supposed to know he's a cop because that's when they kind of have that interaction at the little like liquor convenience store, him and Eddie Murphy. Then he kind of sees a gun on him. I think that whole scene at the beginning was just like filmed later and just added on or something.
It's probably too confusing for audiences or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but they wanted a more comedic scene with Robert De Niro, kind of because at this point Robert De Niro was coming off of like Analyze This and Meet the Parents, so he was kind of like going on this comedy streak. So they kind of wanted De Niro to have a comedy scene.
I noticed he got top billing over Eddie Murphy, so Eddie Murphy wants to go towards his down streak with all his bombing,
Pluto Nash and shit, and yeah,
a little inside Hollywood story for me. I worked as a PA on Norbit. It was my second
Norbit.
Yeah,
the great movie Norbit. Got any Eddie Murphy anecdotes from that gig?
No, he kept to himself and his family, very family oriented. And we were told that there were times when he was on the studio where that you were told not to look at him in his eyes. And I always thought, what a dick. But then later in life, I realized the actor or the star rarely ever, the celebrity rarely ever gives a shit about that. It's always their producer or handler or something, or an executive, like, don't look at not wanting to be embarrassed by the employees or the workers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. People hear that.
Goes on the star shoulder. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I heard that, but I've also been on like shows where a celebrity will come in and a new PA or something will just walk up to the person and go, "Hey dude, can you sign this for my, nephew? And hey, can you read my script?" and all this shit. And like, and then the new rule for the PAs afterwards is like, you don't look at them. You don't, they like overcorrect it. So it's, it kind of makes sense.
All fair. I say that. Yeah. You're in a professional setting. Just don't leave the celebrity alone. It's going to be weird.
Right. Didn't you say though you went to his house one time and he has like all these like marble like Greek god statues like going up the driveway or something?
I had to make a run to his house. He lives in a very specific part, very secluded part in Hollywood Hills. So it's a security, it's like a gated community of the richest of the rich. Not quite rich, there's richer people than actors, but very rich people like Rod Stewart lived there. I knew that.
Yeah.
You just drive through and it's just opulence. The houses are insane, just the front of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I even having to drive? Shouldn't like a helicopter come and pick this up? And it was insane. I've never seen. And it's in the Hollywood Hills, which is all green and all the houses are smashed together. All of a sudden, it's just this wide swath of massive houses of really rich, high-end celebrities and rich people.
Well, it makes sense. Like celebrities want to live in Los Angeles and stuff like that. But like, even I've noticed everything's so slammed together. Like if I was that rich, I think I'd want like a little seclusion, privacy or something. They probably have multiple houses fucking, around the, world for that stuff. But yeah, I just noticed even like going like to Trey Parker's house, like his house, like almost touched the other house. It was like a beautiful house, but it's like slammed right next to another one, which is right next to another one in Brentwood. And I just thought, wow, everything's, if you live anywhere, it's like, this is, I don't know if like my house is like that crammed next to each other.
Well, this one had massive lawns. I mean, it was years ago. And then the mansion in the middle, it was wild. And I was like, I'm going to live in one of these places one day. And it didn't work out for me.
Hey, look at us in our apartments.
There's still time. We're not dead yet.
There's still time. No, we still got it.
We
just need about 40,000 more subscribers.
Yeah, come on, guys. And hit that like and subscribe
button. That up. You tell two friends. You tell two friends.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the problem with Showtime, by the way. If we want to get rich, we need to get into Showtime. Yeah.
Because everyone really wants to know about this. I told people this week, like, what are you covering? What's that? Like, this is not a known movie at all.
Well, I watch a lot of YouTube, not to diverge so much. I watch a lot of YouTube channels that cover bad movies that I never want to watch. So I could just listen to them talk about it and go over it. And then I never have to worry about it. So maybe we're doing that favor. I don't expect anybody to go, I'm not listening to this. I want to watch Showtime. Then I'll watch this. I wouldn't suggest that.
You've had people spare you of bad movies so long, it's time for you to carry the load and like, pay it forward.
It's my crust. I don't need that. The movie's too fucking slow. There's no narrative. The movie doesn't even really start until the one action sequence, the one main one with the garbage truck and the bank robbery. Until then, it's meandering. They're setting up the show. They're doing all this shit. Like, get to the fucking movie.
well, there's that whole montage scene of like the show, like going, like just being the number one show on TV and stuff. A lot of stuff, having worked in reality television a little bit, like it's one of those movies that does not really even know how reality shows work, or like a lot of it's like captured live on their like body cams or something, and like all those shows rely heavily on editing. And yeah,
Well, this came
I
out. You
thought
said this came out in 2003.
2002. So like Survivor had been like the number one show on TV for like a couple of years at that point, but reality TV was still kind
Yeah, it
of
still
like,
predates like
yeah,
American whatever the fuck. And
Idol or
yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, anyway, it's like, so I don't think it really has a firm grasp on what, like there's nothing that really is, like, again, there's any, similarities between reality and this movie are completely, circumstantial or whatever. But one thing, like I did like the movie again. Just said that I like these buddy action comedy movies, especially ones I haven't seen. And knowing this was a big studio movie, big stars like Hollywood Homicide that just like fell on its face. This movie bombed pretty fucking hard. Like I think it made like around like 70 million worldwide on an $85 million budget. And that's not counting like, promotion and all that kind of shit. So I'm guessing this probably lost a lot of money for the studio, but it's hard to tell with those things because, like we were talking about earlier this week, like studios fudge their numbers like crazy. So
it definitely blew. It definitely bombed horribly and lost them money.
mm-hmm.
It was also Frankenstein, like you said. The opening seemed forced in and reshot. There was also that scene with, by the way, the antagonist of this movie fucking sucks, and there's subplot as
with his like frosted tip hair and like doing a really bad evil Latino character that we've seen in a million movies.
And I don't even understand their plan is to buy these guns or get these guns or make these guns so they can rob banks and kill the cops. What the fuck?
There's like the super gun that they're gun runners. It's like a super gun, but
Did you notice the weird cut where it cuts to them and he blows up a truck that's driving away and then it cuts away? I feel like that was just
that.
Yeah, it was just an edited out real quick. They threw that in as if they're practicing, but I think it was an edited out deal that they were like, this is boring. Let's get rid of it. We'll just show this part down.
So I think I kind of remember that practicing. They're testing out their guns or something, and then like but it was very generic, very forgettable. I think this movie had a chance, to do something satirical with like reality TV, cops, buddy cop, stuff, but just decided just to go fuck it. We're just gonna go totally mainstream cop movie. The main thing that pissed me off about this movie is I'm starting the Spotify playlist that has like the main songs from these movies, like The Boys Are Back in Town from 48 Hours. It does not. There's the big song they have is Showtime by Shaggy, who I'm not a fan of Shaggy like at all. It's not my thing. But like,
did he do the opening song credits? The opening song?
Maybe.
Whoever sang that, the voice
know.
Sounded really weird. It could have been Shaggy. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's Showtime. And that's like the one song that's not on Spotify at all. Like no one gives, and like the soundtrack's nowhere to be found, even though it was a major release soundtrack. Just no one gives a shit about this movie at all. Showtime, the song from Miss and Mrs. Cops called Showtime is on Spotify.
That's great.
Yeah, this movie is just completely, I think, forgotten, disposed of, whatever.
The one thing I thought of when they went to the club, and I thought of the bar scene from 48 Hours, the like almost star-making bar scene for Eddie Murphy. Now he is 20 years later doing another bar scene.
Yeah.
Don't think he has the same passion 20 years later.
Yeah, well, we should probably mention, Eddie Murphy now is the first return buddy on our show from 48 Hours. The first time, the first buddy. Congratulations, Eddie Murphy.
I've been to your house.
Really stoked. Yeah, I'm sure you're really stoked. But yeah, that you get this I think kind of started their whole coasting big time phase where Eddie Murphy had like Nutty Professor and some of these hits and stuff, but then Robert De Niro was coming off of like Meet the Parents and Analyze This and all this other stuff. But then they just started doing these whatever paycheck movies, like all the bad like family movies that Eddie Murphy made, like 1,000 Words. Norbit might have been one of his pet projects. I don't know, but like
Norbit was a big financial hit though, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it was, I guess,
but it made money.
It wasn't a pet project. Okay, well, anyway, just doing all these. It's like Robert De Niro too. Like, just started doing all these. Like, what is he doing in this? Movies for a long time. Like, they could both kind of bounce back a little bit. Eddie Murphy did that Dolomite movie that was really widely praised, and De Niro did like Silver Linings Playbook and The Irishman and stuff. But for a good 15 years there or so, they were just in crap after crap. So anyway,
you have to strike while the iron's hot. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I feel like they had to try with this one. They had to respect each other. Maybe even the outtakes at the end, it seemed like they were having fun.
The gag reel, I was like, wow, a gag reel. I haven't seen one of these in a while.
And for this to underperform as bad as it did, maybe they just started taking paychecks. Maybe this was the reason.
Maybe this could have been the change,
because there's a lot of money behind it. It's a huge production. They let them improv. You could tell it just none of it worked.
None of it worked. It just, I think it started the how much am I getting paid for it? Fine, that was like the start of it. There's also the needle drops in this thing, not kind of the soundtrack, but that fucking song by James Brown, I got you, I feel good. That should never be in a fucking movie ever again. Like Bad to the Bone or Staying Alive. Like, just stop putting these. There's like 10 songs. Just stop putting them in any fucking movie ever again. If that song, one of these songs comes on, like, I just know the music supervisor sucks. And yeah, I can't, never put that in a movie again, please.
It's got to be a choice from the executives. At some
Probably.
Point.
Yeah.
They see a cut.
He feels good.
They see a cut.
I feel good. Yeah.
There's nothing here. Let's liven it up. What's a song where we can liven this movie up? I feel good. That one always works.
Yeah.
Hey, why did
this guy's wild? How about Born to Be Wild?
I like the new kid.
Good.
Hold on, sorry, I'm reading my notes. What the movie should have been. Oh yeah, I already got that. Why did they get in trouble after the garbage truck scene? All the cops are converging on the bank robbery. They converge. They're riding the garbage truck. They're chasing them. It picks up Robbie D. Eddie Murphy saves them. And then they're both in trouble. Like, give me your, like, he almost fires them and stuff. The chief.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything wrong. They were just doing what all the other cops were doing. It just, they were more.
It's the end of the second act. It's the end of the second act. They have to have something like, you guys are off the case now. Blah blah. Hand in your badge and gun, basically. That's that scene. So,
but do something to earn that. It's just completely forced. I never got that.
It's by the numbers. Whatever. What do you think about De Niro's and like Eddie's chemistry? I kind of felt like we were talking about, like, I could almost feel like they had like almost two separate camps on the set. I got like probably De Niro had an entourage and Eddie Murphy had an entourage. They probably never talked like off camera. Like, it was okay, but it was like you could tell like that they're like just doing their lines and not really bouncing off each other that much.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like in Orbit, Eddie Murphy's with his family the whole time, away from everything.
Sure.
And he would even come out with his daughters or granddaughters or whatever and walk to set with them. So I doubt they were sharing a trailer and going over lines like they were probably doing earlier in their careers. And then I don't know anything about De Niro. I'm sure he just hangs out with a bunch of made men. And they
probably, they eat pasta and talk about how you doing,
Hey, what the fuck you talking about?
Forget about it.
Why are you doing this picture?
It's a piece of shit.
Wow.
I did like the romantic music that played in their bonding scene. I forgot. It was like a jazzy, like.
I just thought that was a complete forced. This is them bonding like they bonded in Lethal Weapon. So they use that smooth jazz to show this is a down moment. We're relaxing. That's what I attribute it to more than something like softcore porn or something like that.
Well, I didn't say it was like anything like, oh, they're going for the porn of it. I just thought this is just a weird like key. They're just laying it on really thick with like it's a bromance or something, But
it was trying really hard.
they're trying real damn hard. That party scene that you talked about, though, that when you said it reminded you of 48 Hours, it actually reminded me of MacGruber when he goes on stage, that party, like the dance club. It's like, Hunts, I'm alive and I'm coming after you. And he, like, jumps off stage, and Ryan Phillips is like, why'd you do that? Like, Hunts doesn't even know you're alive and that you're coming after him, and this totally blew your cover. And that's kind of what they did. They just got up there like, we're looking for this guy. Like, we're coming after you.
Not only that, they get up, they meet the guy, and then they just start assaulting them. They just start beating the shit out of them. That's when you should lose your badge and get in trouble.
On camera.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that. You just lost the case. The lawyer's going to get them off no matter what.
No matter what now. Well, and I like that everyone reacts to them, their big catchphrase, it's showtime. Like, that's are they aware that there was a big cable network called Showtime at the time? or like, that's not like a great catchphrase or anything. Like, it's showtime. Like, wow.
HBO had the rights to the movie too.
Yeah,
so they had Showtime on HBO. I bet HBO people love that, and the Showtime people hate it, don't you?
Oh, they're like, they're still pissed off about they took Showtime away from us. We could have fucking ridden that for years.
Showtime on Showtime.
Yeah, Will Smith, executive producer. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that in the credits. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Will Smith has come up on the show more than any other actor. I think we've seemed to talk about him a lot. Versus it's King Richard.
He was in our first
Black episode.
He was in our first episode. King Richard. Yeah. He slaps Chris Rock. The executive producer says, "This is what, our 11th, 12th show." So he's in a quarter.
We're giving him at least. We're giving him a lot of free press. Maybe he should sponsor us.
He needs the free press right now. So I think that's good.
Yeah.
He needs. He deserves it. He's a good guy.
Is he? I don't know.
He
could be a piece of shit. Could be a wonderful person. I do like all these like just editorials about like inside the mind of Will Smith. It's like
as the show gets more and more bastardized and we make money, that's what it's going to become. Lucas buddies go inside the mind of Will Smith. Here's what I'm hearing.
Two guys
from Will
completely
Smith's...
destroy.
Here's what I'm hearing from Will Smith's camp. He is not happy about what happened at the Oscars.
Ooh. Tell us more. Well, I will say though that go ahead.
No, you started first. What? I fucked up.
It's okay. Don't beat yourself.
No. I'm a professional journalist.
Well, again, though, I like these movies, and I liked, I thought it was easy to sit through, especially never seen it. If I'd already seen it, I think it'd probably be hard to sit through it again. But I like Robert De Niro. I like Eddie Murphy. I like these kind of movies. So, I'd give it like a
hold on. I still have a couple things to talk about the actual movie. The damsel in distress thing with Rene Russo really pissed me off.
Sure.
I thought we were beyond that even in 2002 or 3 or whatever the fuck this movie was made.
Well, and her character in this is very similar to character in that movie Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Remember that one with
very
Jake Gyllenhaal? That was also a movie that has lots of questionable. Like, do they even know how the news works? So.
Also, she's a pretty good woman character with her being tough and not taking shit. Then they just make her, oh, save me. Ah.
Yeah. Well, again, that's why I think this movie probably had a bunch of it was all this interesting shit. They just kept watering it down, or just let's make it just more mainstream, more stupid, whatever.
You're probably right. And then the romance at the end where it hints that they're dating and she kisses him, her and Robert De Niro. When did they establish that? Never, just because of the two.
Well, that diner scene, maybe a little bit at the beginning. But
at the beginning, where he's like, that's it. They completely abandoned any type. They needed a scene in the car, not him and Eddie Murphy, if they want to pretend like these two had any type of chemistry or romantic connection.
Yeah, had an earned relationship, or just being a dick to her the whole time they're in the hamburger stand place anyway. So. And
plus, he's dresses like he's 80 and has a shitty apartment. Why would she, a successful television
Does he have a shitty apartment though? That was that. I mean, when you walk in and they're like, something smells in here. I mean, not too bad, but like that. They're like, oh, then they dress it up, this swanky thing. But I thought his apartment looked pretty nice.
It's spacious because it's a set, but whoever set decked it obviously knows LA apartments because it has the wall AC. You can see the walkway to the next apartment.
Sure.
No, it's a shitty apartment. Oh, well, excuse me.
We don't all live in the fucking castles that you live in, I guess.
Not everybody can live in a 2-bedroom in Studio City right off the 101.
Oh.
Okay, so now I'm done talking about Showtime. Aside from what did you think about it? You were getting to that before I interrupted you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just like these movies, and I like, I thought it was fine. I kind of knew going in, like, I never saw it because I saw the trailer when it came out, and like that looks bad, and then the reviews were it's terrible, so I never bothered even checking it out. Plus, maybe I was just kind of done with these kind of movies at that point, or just kind of over
We
it.
were
And like
also at
also
an
any
age where we were above all that. We were very cynical.
yeah, just like
Early
that looks like a
20s.
lame
Yeah.
mainstream, lame mainstream piece of shit. And it was, but there was stuff I liked about it. I do like Robert De Niro and Eddie Murphy. I thought William Shatner was kind of fun in his role. He doesn't
He
really
was a
get a lot of
highlight.
yeah, he doesn't really get a lot of featured roles in like big mainstream movies, and he seems to be really enjoying this and like milking it for every ounce. I think he's actually playing William Shatner too, because they keep talking
He
about
is.
T.J. Hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Shatner
so
does some directing. You know that.
yeah. So overall, I mean, like I liked it. I like the crazy action sequence at the end with like
The
that's the
pool
same
is
hotel.
fun.
Yeah, it's the same hotel from In the Line of Fire and stuff, with like the pool breaking through and shattering, and they're handcuffed there. Call back to the beginning. So I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it's for a buddy action comedy movies, it definitely is one, and it's enjoyable. But no, I would not like probably recommend this movie to anybody, like, unless you're like really into buddy action comedy movies like I am. So
How would you rate this on a movie scale?
I don't rate movies on movie scales anymore. I just rate them on like,
A
because
buddy
I don't even know
scale?
what that means. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. It's like what about as a movie? Well, it is a fucking movie, like, and it's a buddy action comedy.
Well, here's
So
where I'm going to give you. I'm
yeah.
going to push back there because
Okay.
if I'm watching a movie geared to a young adult audience, especially one geared at young women,
Mm-hmm.
I would give most of those movies like Fault in My Stars or whatever. That's a 2-star movie in my book. But if you're a
Mm-hmm.
young woman, I would give that a 3.5, 4 stars. You should watch that. So absolutely, there's a
Yeah.
different scale.
Well, I can see that there would be a different scale, but it almost seems like you're just undermining the movie when you're doing that. It's like, I'll give Tango and Cash 5 out of 5. Oh, a movie? Oh, a 2. It's I don't know. I agree with you.
These movies
Yeah.
are taking up my evenings once a week. I'm not undermining shit. They can fuck off and die. They're all horrible. So I don't feel bad. If they are a good movie and a good buddy cop movie, then yeah, they're gonna get the praise. But I do not feel bad going, go fuck yourself as far as an actual movie.
Hey, no one's saying you overpraise anything. I'm just saying that, like, I'm just gonna rate them how I feel and not be like, oh, let me try to think about what everybody would think. Just like, I'll just tell you what I feel like about it.
Here's
like,
your problem,
let me put
Kenny.
it on
Here's
that
your
scale.
problem, Kenny. here's your problem. And I
I love it when you discuss my problems back to me. You're constantly diagnosing. You're like, oh yeah, you know what, Kenny?
I give this
top 5 things wrong with you.
Before I even started, my diagnosis of this is 5 out of 5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You keep changing your mind on the scale and the rating. Can't we just land on something? You're indecisive. No? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so we'll commit. We'll just do a buddy movie, buddy action comedy.
This
scale.
show is just a free flowing river. You gotta swim with it, man. You can't plan. You never know when there's rapids, you never know when a big fucking Kenny Lane curveball is coming at you, and I'll never stop. I can't stop.
What are they called? February? I can't stop.
I can't stop changing my rating scale.
I give this both as a buddy movie and an actual movie 2 out of 5.
Well, no. As an actual movie, though.
Yeah, 2. Both the same. Both the same. 2 out of 5. It's a shitty buddy action. There's only one action scene. The finale is. I like the pool thing, fine, but would I call that an action scene? No.
I get some people asking me now, like not that many, but I get some people that say like, hey, you should cover this, you should cover that. I know it's hard for people to like to have the buddy action comedy. Is that like too specific? Because I get a lot of things. It's like, do The Odd Couple or do Midnight Cowboy or something, and I'm just like, it's not that doesn't really fit. But do people like recommend those to you? Like just like, hey, check this out. You're like, well, that doesn't really fit the criteria.
None of my friends watch this. No, Edgar and
friends watch
Johnny. No, Edgar and Johnny watch it. Edgar gave us one, but
big shout outs to Johnny and Edgar.
Yeah, big shout outs. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Edgar gave us one that I sent to you, and you said it didn't count because it was too much of it was more of a buddy indie.
Well, I looked it up on Wiki. It's like an independent drama. you know, and it's like there's probably any
here's
action in it.
Here's what I think. If we're gonna be the buddies on buddies guys, we make the decision. We make reviews and we watch buddy action comedies.
Can we do this off air, Lucas? God, you're always springing this shit on me like in the middle of the show. Oh my God.
I stopped recording 15 minutes ago, Kenny.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah, we gave our ratings. I got us out.
Now I can say what I really want to say about the Ukraine.
And black people. No, Kenny, I was kidding. No, it's buddies on buddies. We decided, and I agree. There's so many too. Like it will never run out of
There's
material.
A lot. Yeah.
We could do this every day for 3 years and don't even scratch the surface.
There'll still be buddy action comedy movies.
Especially when we go into foreign, it's insane.
Well, speaking of, why don't you what are we doing next week then, Lucas? I don't want to torture you with another one of my my picks.
Last week we decided this together, and this week you just threw it on me live. So let me look. No, there was one I had in my mind.
Are you gonna Google it again?
No, I'm gonna look at your email you sent me about.
Yes, the list on there.
Yeah, come on. Bob candidates. Now I'm doing rips. Let's do Heart Condition. That's one I want to do.
Heart Condition, with Bob Hoskins and Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Commonly referred to as Denzel Washington's worst movie, but I remember liking this movie as a kid. So.
I remember too. My dad liked it. I haven't seen it since then, so we'll see. But before we go, what did you learn and feel from Showtime?
I'm fucking stumped on this one. I don't think I learned a goddamn thing from Showtime. I don't think there's any lessons, any intelligence, nothing.
So you learned that
I learned at a certain point, actors, stars just need paychecks, maybe to pay off an ex-wife or buy a new house or something, and it becomes about the where we'll be shooting, what is it, how much am I being paid, and there's nothing really wrong with that necessarily. I don't know.
I learned that after taking on cash last week and this movie that producers on cocaine have a really skewed definition or idea of what a Los Angeles nightclub looks like. Because both of these are fucking insane. I've never seen anything like it. I know I'm not a nightclub guy, but I've been to enough of them reluctantly to know that none of them look like these things.
These things like this. Yeah. Well, they're always over the top, like, shit where like it's kind of really dark and you can't really hear anything a lot of times. There's like a fucking dumbasses in there, sprinkled about, and there's no like stage, everything's perfectly lit, everyone's just at their tables and
talking openly.
Right.
Hollywood, come on with you. Hey, you know what? Can I change it? Instead of, can we do The Nice Guys instead?
No, we're gonna Heart Condition.
All right. Heart Condition it is.
We need a Nice Guy some other time.
All right. Hey, I had a question for you. Fuck, if I can't remember it. Oh yeah, does Sonic the Hedgehog count as a buddy action comedy movie, or is that more of a kids movie?
I would say it's a kids movie.
Right.
And I mean, it could work. I said at the beginning, like we could do like, dog and this, or, cartoon and that. I guess Roger Rabbit would be like a buddy.
It's not action
comedy
enough.
Action. Yeah, there's some action. The only movie that we've covered that I don't think fits the criteria of the three is probably Partners, because there is little to no action in that fucking movie. There's one little shootout at the end, a couple shots fired, and there's that kind of really lame chase where John Hurt's like kind of driving fast. Other than that, there's like no action in that whole movie, but we hadn't seen it going into it, so we didn't really know. But
right.
Yeah.
All right. If anybody has any questions or debate about all this stuff, get a life.
We're leaving on that.
What?
Yeah, fuck anyone that watches this show.
Yeah, if you watch this, I don't know what you're doing. If you're just listening to it, gardening,
a fucking life.
Wow.
God.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Because this is just our hobby. We shouldn't even be recording this. We would do this if you're listening or not.
Yeah. Meditate. Read a book. Anything else. God.
Seriously, read a book. Read Lonesome Dove.
I can't have Lonesome Dove plugs. Yeah. Bye. We love our fans. Bye.
Oh, we love our fans. We'll see you later.